Hey guys, how's it going? Nick is here as always, and it's going to be a very special episode because in just 4 days, it's going to be November 25th, 2016, which marks exactly 2 years since the story that I told you in my second ever video, the video from going 30 grand in debt to 10K revenue per month. And that happened 2014, if you remember. It was December 25th, 2014. I was in the fraternity dorm room. I had all the student debt, $500 in my bank account, and no other way of making ends meet. 2 years later, here we are. I'm in Chiang Mai. I'm doing really well. Q4 really killed it with the product. I'm stepping up on product number 2 and number 3 and planning for 2017. Honestly, to the point where now I'm so grateful to be doing what I'm doing because now my problems are, how to figure out a proper corporates and personal income tax setup so that I lower my taxes as a Canadian. I'm sure some of you guys know you pay a lot of personal income tax, and if you have any corporation, that's 15% or higher sometimes without any write-offs. So that's the kind of problems I'm having now. And this is the reason why I wanted to put out this video because, Christmas, New Year seems to be like the time of the year when a lot of people start thinking about resolutions for next year. And I wanted to make a video specifically for the resolutions and for you to think about two things. Number one is I want you to consider not your goals. Forget about goals. I want you to imagine what kind of lifestyle do you want? Because that's something that I did with my friends Ryan and Max. We went out to Pai, which is about 4-hour bike ride or motorcycle ride from Chiang Mai, where I'm currently right now. And we had this 2-day retreat where we just sat down, we journaled, and basically the goal for that was, come up with goals originally for 2017. And my interpretation of that, I want to write about what kind of lifestyle I want. Now, recently, as I'm sure some of you know, Tim Ferriss released his book, Tools of the Titans. So I started reading that. And in the very beginning of the book, and I've heard Tim say this in a couple of podcasts, the Benjamin Franklin quote, early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. And he advocates, the tripod. You need to take care of your health, you need to take care of your wealth, and you need to take care of your wisdom. So instead of setting specific goals, I just drew out the lifestyle that I want, which is, growing my Amazon business, diversifying into other niches, for example, on Amazon itself, but also, going into drop shipping, going into either online businesses, whether it be, consultations or info products or something like that, But basically, just finding a way to diversify what it is that I have because Amazon's been really good to me and I want to keep growing that. I want to keep, sustaining the lifestyle and making this great. It's really hard to sometimes just get to the part where you sit down and you just draw out like what kind of lifestyle I want. For example, I'll give you my interpretation of my lifestyle for 2017. So I divided into health, wealth, and wisdom. For my health, this is just going off the top of my mind, remembering the major points. For my health, I want to eat really healthy. I want to gain muscle mass and be more fitted out. I want to have a ripped body like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. That's one of my goals, or so to speak, one of my ideal life sets. That's what I want to work towards. That's how I'm imagining my life. I want to drink a lot more water. I want to go to sleep earlier, wake up earlier, and just set the day right. Even if I'm not doing the 8-hour work days like a lot of people that are in this business do, even if I do 4-hour work days, I'll have more time to pay attention to the other two parts of the tripod. Which leads us into the business category, having 4-hour work days where I sit down in the morning and I have this, completely focused, goal-driven, results-driven work set. And then, go on and enjoy my day, maybe read, go out, meet with friends, socialize, share ideas. Because one thing that I'm realizing from arriving in Chiang Mai is that there's a lot of freelancers here. And there's a lot of people that come here just to start something, with the big advice. Like Johnny FD is probably the biggest guy that you can probably find in Chiang Mai. He's got his own website. I'm sure if you Google him, you'll find him. And he advocates, the dropship lifestyle. And that could be the first step for somebody. For a lot of people, just save some money, come out here and then get into the environment, the productive environment, and just, hustle your face off. But I found that once I got here, I was kind of on a different path already because I had this automated Amazon business that's making me really good money. And I'm just more focused on growing that rather than sitting down and seeing everybody else working. It's like, okay, well, I should be working on something which is the term for that is black and white work. When you have, for example, like you're a coder or you're a writer, or let's say you're even doing product research. Like that's not really creative work. That's like you knowing what you need to do and just following the steps. I'm at the stage where I'm doing 80, 90% of creative work. Like what can I make my brand to be like? What other products can I add to my brand to make it greater? How can I, diversify into different brands and kind of connect them together? And like, you know what I mean? Like, how can I make this thing more appealing to the customer, and thinking creatively rather than just sit down and grind it out. So I just found myself in a different kind of position, right? So for you, if you're back at home right now, and I know, like, I'm talking to all my friends, and you might be having your full-time job. You're probably in this Christmas festivity season with your family, and for sure, take some time off, relax, But at the same time, try to carve out maybe 20, 30 minutes and just sit down with a journal and just imagine, what do you want life to be? It doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds. I want to travel. I want to be making $1,000 a day, something rather, and try to see how you can position yourself to work towards that. Whether it might look like, for example, having your 8-hour workday and then spending 1 to 2 hours on product research or Alibaba research, something like that. And then, like hit the gym, do some sort of fun exercise. The gym doesn't have to necessarily be I know a lot of people, their big goals are, I want to be more fit. I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. Why not do, yoga twice a week? Or why not do a little bit of fun running as a group? There's so many alternatives to just being physically healthy that you don't have to limit yourself to the gym necessarily. It's just adding one of those pillars, or 2 or 3 of those pillars if you can, and wisdom being the last one, which is reading more, consuming more high value content. So I found out, well, I've known this, but it's come to the forefront of my behavior, that I'm not good at reading books. I get really bored really quickly, and it's just not something that works for me, and I don't want to force myself. I want to enjoy the content. So what I do now is, we live really close by the mountain. So what I do is I download an ebook, either on my iBooks or through, I tried the other app, the Audible app. I didn't really like it as much. So I like to just straight up purchase, audiobooks on iBooks on my iPhone, and just pop it into my ears. I have a 4 or 5 hour ride and just go off and ride and just listen to it. Have a little journal with me. If I hear some sort of nugget of knowledge that really struck a chord with me, I'll pull over, take it down, and keep going. And then I'll review it afterwards once I get home. So what is the kind of life that you want to live, rather than what kind of goals do you want to set? Because goals have no passion behind it. They have no feeling behind it. It's just A, B, C, this algorithmic, programmable, like you're trying to approach as a human being full of emotion and, full of attachments and already a bunch of bullshit in your head that you're trying to deal with. You're trying to set these goals and you're trying to be, approach it as if you're a machine or something, but you're not. You have to have a imagination of a lifestyle that you want. So that's something that I'm going to be experimenting in 2017, and I highly encourage you to do that, because when I sat down and I started writing the kind of lifestyle I want based on those 3 criteria, man, I really felt excited. I wanted to get to work right there and then, but we all agreed that this was going to be more of a mental retreat, more of a chilled out kind of pace. And even now, we're coming to an end of December. There's 10 more days left in December. Amazon's selling my product. I got enough inventory to last me through January. My suppliers are already working on a new order. I'm expanding to Canada and UK. I'm working on, in my leisure time, I'm working on figuring out the corporate stuff and how to properly incorporate on that, which once I figured out, I'd love to do a video, because man, it can get really complicated. For a month, I was so stressed about it. And now there is a lot of alternative ways, which I'm going to be honest with you. Once I tell you, you're gonna feel a lot of resistance to the way that I want to structure my corporation, because it involves, offshore corporation and other residences other than, specifically Canada, becoming a resident in a different country and traveling the world and, minimizing the corporate tax and minimizing the personal sales tax. So, you have that. But then the second thing I want you to think about is, where were you last year? That's a big one for me, because I think about last year, and, at this point I was probably on my way to Pakistan, celebrating the wedding festivities there. But my Amazon was I just put in my order about 3 weeks ago last year, this time. I just put it in. The window cleaning company wasn't starting until April, May. So I kind of had that, open space, but I already knew that from the window cleaning, we made some money, and I can do that again, this year. So like trace the progress. 2 years ago I'm dead broke. I hate it. I'm probably at the lowest point in my life. A year ago, okay, window cleaning was done. Now Amazon's coming up and I'm traveling. Like I'm starting to kind of see this lifestyle that I've wanted all along. And then this year is probably the best year of my life ever, period. And so, don't try to think that I'm trying to tell you like, man, like 1 year, 2 years, you can do this. Do it at your own pace, but just start paying attention. Because another Tim Ferriss quote that he said, and maybe someone else said and he quoted them, but people underestimate how much they can do in a week, but they overestimate how much they can do in a day. So try to pace that out and try to think of the ideal lifestyle for 2017, but especially look back at the last year. And this might be painful for some of you because whether it's fear, whether a lot of things have come up. I know, for example, for me, 2016 was one of the best years of my life. For some of you, 2016 was terrible. You might have gotten hit with a bunch of problems that you weren't even expecting. And I get that. I so get that because I was there in 2014, like there's always going to be challenges. And so what I'm thinking now, just because I'm starting to make really good money on Amazon and I'm expanding that and I'm pretty excited about it, doesn't mean that the problem's gone away. For example, the whole corporate tax, things are going on back home that I'm trying to kind of scramble and, grow this empire as fast as possible so I can take care of everything back home. Problems never go away. It's just the quality of the problems that you have. So right now you might have very localized, smaller problems, and I don't mean to talk down anyone, but a problem like, man, how do I, living paycheck to paycheck, like I need some like security for myself and maybe for your family. But the next level problem is, okay, how do I pay off rent and start this business at the same time? Next level is, how do I hire good employees for my business to kind of help me run the company? Because now the rent, and like the higher you aim to have higher level problems, let's not even call them problems, let's call them challenges, higher level challenges. The bottom tier challenges kind of tend to take care of themselves. They kind of, it's like a pull up. You're pushing through the ceiling and the floor comes with you. And you might check back with last year and maybe you're in my boat where 2016 has been an amazing year and this is awesome and I'd love to hear more about that. But then you might have been not such a great year and you might have made like zero progress. You might have fallen back from last year. But I think doing that exercise where you envision the kind of life, forget about the goals, just envision the kind of life that you want in a year from now and then checking back a year ago, what kind of life did I have? And just seeing the progress so far and the trajectory where you're going because, it's important to reflect where you were because if you don't, I think, at least in my experience, you end up, this is where the story, right? The depressing story that I hear sometimes where it's like, man, life was going good and then boom, 5 years happened and where did my youth go? I hear that a lot, especially from 30 plus year olds who are like, man, your 20s are going to fly by you. And I'm now in my mid 20s and I'm like, man, like life is going at a pretty steady pace. I don't feel like life is passing me by because every day there's something different. Every month, there's some sort of different crazy event that I can remember. Every month has been highlighted by some sort of new activity or event. Every year has been insane. The last 2 years, I remember in more detail than the previous 23 years of my life probably. Because so much things have happened. Once you start embracing life and running towards it, all these things start popping up and you're just creating all these new memories. So, as we wrap up this year, I really want you to think about the vision for the future, reflect on the past, and where you are now, and how can you make it better? How can you, for the lack of a better word, how can you give up who you are now to become something that you want to be? And I know, I've been there, guys. I've been there. Like I was the guy on the other side of this camera. I was the guy who was watching videos and like, man, well, easy for you to say, like you made it, so you can kind of talk about it. But the thing is, like 2 years ago, I had no way, and then somehow I just found a way. I don't know. I can't really tell you exactly what it was, but. You just can't give up hope. You can't say, oh, I'll wait till X happens until the kids are out of the house or until I graduate college or university. Like there is no fallbacks. The opportunities that are here today are not going to be there tomorrow. For example, Amazon is, man, prime time last year, prime time still this year. It's still great. Drop shipping, if you don't have money for Amazon, start drop shipping. Similar skills, more time investment than money investment on the drop shipping, vice versa for Amazon. Start a local business like what I started from. Start a window cleaning, a painting company, start an, advertising, go into sales, learn sales, start your own little sale. Like you have to do something because if you do nothing, nothing's going to change, right? I mean, what do you expect your life to be? You're just gonna, sit there cowering and then 30, 40 years from now, oh, well, I wanted my life to be safe and I didn't want to take a risk. And then 40 years from now, you're dead and it's over. And like, I don't mean to be gloom and doom, but we're all dying, man. We're all dying. And you only have so much time, and that is your number one resource. And I get it, because I was there. Right now, you're selling your time 1 hour. You're getting reimbursed, whether it's $10 if it's minimum wage, whether it's 20, 30, maybe $40, great. But you're still selling your life to someone else at a time. And that company, at any moment, they can say, hey, John, or hey, Susie, we're gonna have to let you go. I'm sorry, we can't make ends meet. Invest into yourself. At the end of the day, that's what basically, like, starting a business, reading books, having a healthy body, you're basically investing time and money into yourself. And I think that's the big kind of takeaway from all of this that I've done. I spent 7 years in university. And as much as I wish I could go back and start this 2-3 years earlier, time has passed and I'm never going to get it back. But at the very least, better late than never. I'm here now and I have no regrets, because maybe if I started earlier, I would have missed the boat with my product that I have now. I would have missed the boat on meeting the kind of people that are influencing me the most in making changes in my business and my lifestyle in general. I would have missed out on that boat. So I'm really happy the way it turned out. And for you right now, it might really, really suck. But in hindsight, if you just make moves, if you just get fucking sick of being where you are and you're just like, man, I want to make moves, I want to do something meaningful with my life, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you might be in my position where either you're shooting a video or you're having drinks with friends and reminiscing, which has happened to me so many times since I got here. Not that I'm an alcoholic and drink a lot, but just the reminiscing part. And you sit down, you're thinking like, man, how far I've come. I was just there, and now just a couple of years later, and it all kind of came together, and boom, here we are now. This is amazing. And I want you to feel that feeling. I really do. Just don't give up the hope and keep thinking about it, because the fight is never over. Like, the race is never over, Just levels. Keep elevating yourself. Keep pushing. So, to wrap it up, guys, happy upcoming Christmas. Happy upcoming New Year's. Please, please, please think about the year to come and the lifestyle that you want, truly want. It might not happen this year, but at the very least, it'll start planting seeds. And I think that's the most important part. Start planting seeds about what you want. What you want out of life. And then reflect on the past year, just to give you some, maybe even at the very least, just to get you mad. Just like, fuck, man, I wasted a year. I moved nowhere. The dial did not move even a cent, or it moved, but I wanted to move more. Screw it. Get mad at yourself, man. You deserve this. Like, you owe it to yourself to make yourself better and to make your family and your friends better. Because by success, first of all, you're elevating their mindset. They're like, man, like John and Susie, they're doing this. They quit the job and now they're making, 3, 4, 5K, whatever, online. Maybe I can do it. And you're becoming an example for your friends and your colleagues, and your parents are becoming so much more proud of you. Like, think about that. Wouldn't that feel so great? I'm on the phone with my parents these days, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, like, I got us. This business is working. I love it. I'm loving the lifestyle. Like, man, this is gonna so happen for us. This is so happening. And my parents, they're just like, Nick, just take care of yourself. We're okay here in Toronto. Don't worry about us. I'm like, bullshit. Like, I got us. No matter what the problems are, like, we'll solve them together, because now I feel like I've accomplished something. And that's such a great feeling. And this feeling is worth all the risk in the world. So reflect, but Happy New Year, celebrate with your family. I wish you all the best in 2017. I want to make a couple of compilation videos about Chiang Mai and my trip to Bangkok that's coming up with some soundtracks. I want to start making more high quality videos and of course make them more often. But I wish you all the best, guys. Keep grinding, keep working, no matter what it takes. Consume good knowledge, listen to the podcast, listen to the audiobooks, focus on your, on your pyramid, the health, wealth, wisdom. Read Tim Ferriss's book. Read that. Tools of the Titans. I'll include the link below, whether it's, I'll find it on Tim Ferriss's blog or Amazon. I'm maybe like 1/3 of the way through. I think it's one of the most valuable books of my generation so far. I might not read a lot, and this might be kind of a mainstream thing, but man, am I getting a lot of value. Every time I put it down, I just feel energized. Like, I feel like I want to get something, So check out that resource, and wish you all the best, guys. Wish you all the best. I love you always. Thank you for your support. Like, this has been awesome. So far, it's been a great ride, and I love all the love that I'm getting from YouTube. So thank you so much. Leave a comment down below if you want to give me a shout out, if you want to tell me about how your journey has been. Hopefully, I've made a difference in some way or another. I really hope so. And good luck. Good luck to you. You got this. I believe in you. All right. Cheers.